I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. I love Capcom. I mean, my house is littered with stuff like this promo display for Super Street Fighter 4, this Sienko statue, this older Chun-Li figure, this copy of Anyways, they've made a lot of good products. Street Fighter series, Darkstalkers, the Ace Attorney games, and while they've made a few missteps, the reason people play the Breath of Fire series is to play a beefy badass dragon. Don't give the main character the ability to turn into a beefy badass dragon, and then say the whole point of the game is, don't turn into a beefy badass dragon or you lose the game! Stupid Breath of Fire! They've usually been on track when it comes to that sort of thing, especially for their fighting games. You've got the Street Fighter series, they got Darkstalkers. If you don't know about it, they've got Rival Schools. And then they've got their Versus series. This started out with the Marvel vs. Capcom series, which you can still download, the newest one, on the Xbox Live. But now they've got one called Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Now, I know most of these Capcom characters, but as far as the Tatsunoko goes, well, these I'm pretty sure are the Battle of the Planets characters, or G-Force, or Gotcha Men, whichever you want to call it. But as for everyone else here, I got nothing. So, this will be an interesting game experience, I suppose. I'll tell you all how it is once I play it. Let's start with the music. Street Fighter 4 really lowered my expectations when it came to Capcom fighting game music, so I wasn't really hoping for too much. It has an opening J-pop song, and actually sounds pretty good. It does have some needless rap thrown in, but at least it's not...
I can feel it coming over me, I feel it all around me. I've been waiting for this moment all my life, it's my destiny.
Ugh. Or how about... Oh god, it's stuck in my head. Oh god, it's taking me for a ride. You'll have none of that in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. It actually all sounds pretty good. Some of them are pretty memorable, too. Even the stage musics, which I wasn't expecting. Next up, the graphics. Overall, it's done pretty good. It can get really busy on screen with the special moves, but it's nothing the Wii can't handle. All the models look really good, and it's got endings drawn by Udon Crew. I love their comics, and I love all their illustrations. So having the endings done by them, as well as most of the character pictures in general, I think, really adds something to this game. One other thing. Thank you, Capcom, for finally putting something on my TV that I can read. I don't have one of these 72-inch plasma LCD HD TVs, so I really can't read text when it's whatever this 5-point font is they've got going on in new stuff. Dead Rising to the 360, I could barely stand to play anyways for the stupid story, but then add in that tiny text, and it's completely unplayable. At least with this, they were expecting you not to have an HD TV. Now, as for the gameplay, I'm not very good at fighting games. I don't have the motor skills necessary to pull off super specials that have half circle, quarter circle, full circle, all that stuff. Mortal Kombat was completely impenetrable for me. The Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, you have 3 punch, kick, whatever buttons. They all seem to do whichever they need to do at the time. And pulling off specials is pretty simple. I mean, normally in Street Fighter 4 I can't use Chun-Li because her charge attacks are too hard to pull off, but in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom it's hold down, press up, and kick. That sort of thing. It's fairly simple to get the hang of, and without much difficulty you'll be pulling off super combos in no time. Just use that little R trigger button to do whatever you need. Replay value. This is the core of any fighting game. I mean, unless the game makes you want to play it over and over again, you're better off just popping a single quarter or two in an arcade machine. But Tatsunoko vs. Capcom has tons of characters, a few different stages, and lots of unlockables. Mainly it's stuff like color and illustrations, but that sort of thing just adds to the fun of the game. Since I've got the American version, there's a couple other characters that weren't in the previous one, like Frank West from the Dead Rising series. He's pretty fun to play with, I guess. The character selection they have may seem a little odd at first, but it actually is pretty logical when you think about it. Their two Street Fighter characters are Ryu and Chun-li, and they're matched up with the main female and male leads of G-Force. Since all the characters' special moves are so easy to pull off, there's no reason not to just try any random character and see if you like him. So it may have taken them 5 years to do it, but it makes sense why Tatsunoko and Capcom would have this brought out to the US. Everyone knows the Street Fighter characters and some of the other Capcom characters, and having Tatsunoko characters is good exposure for the company in the US. So for you veteran fighting game players, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is a pretty good choice. It has a bunch of brand new characters that have never been in any fighting game before, including a new version of Morrigan who hasn't had a sprite update since the original Darkstalkers. As for you newbies, well, this game is really easy to play, so why not pick it up if you got the extra cash? This is a good starting point, especially since there's other Capcom fighting games that go in the Versus series that you might want to try later, like Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom vs. SNK, and maybe, if enough people buy this, we'll finally get a Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review. Bye!